in South Africa have really created a storm in just a couple of months. So now they've just launched their third model in the range, and it's the middle kid of the ones they've launched so far, the Tiggo7 Pro. Very interesting looking car. Of course, you can see it's a Chery. It looks it, everything is just spells Chery. I kind of like this. Don't know if it's meant to be T for turbo here.
T for Tiggo.
Tiggo or turbo. I prefer turbo because powered by the 1.5 litre 4-cylinder turbo engine that gives you 108 kilowatts and 210 Newton meters of torque, same as little brother Tiggo 4. It also has the same 9-speed CVT automatic gearbox. Smooth. You hardly even know it's a CVT, quite honestly. It really runs nicely. We'll look at the inside properly later on, but you can see the 10-inch touch screen, things like that. But let's have a look. Just bring the camera here, because one of the points of this car is how much bigger it is.
It's massive in the back.
Than the Tiggo 4. It really is almost as big as the Tiggo 7, but doesn't have the 7 seats. That's the point over there, and that's what makes a difference. You can see the full leather trim, of course, on the executive model, features like that it's got. And we pop around, of course, the rear end over here, and as soon as I find the right spot, somebody has fiddled with the settings on this boot.
Hang on a sec. Let's try the key. Should now open
Yeah.
automatically. There we go.
There we go. Pop open the boot. Look at this. 475 litres of boot space over here.
And when folded down,
Drop the back seats, you go to 1,500 litres of space. That is big. It really is. As I said, it's almost as big as the 7, and you can see. And under here, of course, you have, yay, a full size, and it's even an alloy, a matching alloy. How's that? I like that. Well done, Chery. That's a major, major feature, let me tell you. Press button. Boot should close this time and not stay open.
it has tended to open and close by itself.
But also very nice. How do you like the rear tail lights that run right across the back of the car? And the very bold Chery over there. You'll see us on the road. You'll see inside just now. You'll see all these features, and you'll see why this is such an interesting new entrant on the market and makes such a compelling value statement in the current market. JJ Bottas, National Sales Manager of Chery South Africa. JJ, first of all, thanks for a lovely day over launch again.
That's a big pleasure.
Good drive, different, doing the game drive and all that kind of thing. And of course, let's not leave out the whole charity, the With Chery With Love factor you brought into today, and
Yes.
Donating those duvets, etc., to that children's home.
Correct, yes.
So Chery's expanding and reaching out to the public and to the community, which is beautiful. I mean, it really is. But let's start the Tiggo7 Pro,
Okay.
which we drove today. It's bigger. It falls literally between the 4 and the 8, right?
Correct, yes.
If I can ask you quickly on figures, length of the vehicle compared to the 8,
You're looking at a wheelbase of about just over 2.6 meters.
right?
It's slightly bigger than, obviously, well, a little bit bigger than your Tiggo 4.
Yeah.
And, a little bit less than the Tiggo 8.
Yeah.
Exact sizes,
Right.
just over 2.6 on wheelbase.
Okay, but now the advantage of the 7 is that massive boot,
Correct, yes.
lots of more legroom in the rear.
Yes.
So as a 5-seater, it almost compares with the 8 in that sense to me.
Yes,
But
space-wise,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a big, spacious 5-seater, put
Yes.
it that way. And for somebody who needs that extra space, wow, you've filled that gap beautifully.
Yeah, definitely.
The engine, that 1.5 turbo, 108 kilowatts,
Correct, yes.
210 Newton meters,
Yes.
smooth. It's a lovely engine. Overtaking everything, it's good. It's not a lot of these sort of smaller turbos, you can have the turbo lag, etc. if you want to overtake. We didn't experience any of that.
No, fantastic.
The gearbox, the dreaded CVT.
Yes.
But really, it's the 9-speed you refer to, in other words, a 9-step, right? The artificial steps.
Correct, yes.
But, sorry.
So yes, obviously with the CVT, it is the award-winning 9-speed CVT. It is a more seamless. It's not your standard and typical CVT with the erratic changes. It's more refined.
Yeah.
a much smoother drive as well.
Right, and we played with it in manual mode as well, so we tried both just to see what it was like.
Yes.
It really, there were moments you actually question that it's a CVT as opposed to a
That's it,
torque
yes.
converter automatic.
Correct.
Quite honestly. So you delivering in that respect.
Yes.
Luxury, comfort, we're not going to go through everything on it, but you certainly have all of it as I would expect from Chery these days.
Yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles. You're looking from your plush leather seats, your soft touch slash moldings on the sides, on your dash with the leather coverings, you know, your instrumentation panels, that's all digital. All those things are there, plus obviously your safety systems, which is always in place.
Okay, now you've got two models,
Yes.
Distinction and Executive,
Correct, yes.
both mechanically identical.
That's it, yes.
Can you just very briefly give me the differences between the two? Because obviously there's a price difference. What would make me go to the Executive instead of the Distinction?
So obviously, you've got like little finer things. There's like a few extra safety systems, like extra airbags on the executive model. So there's extra two bags, which makes it a 6 airbag vehicle. Then you've got your panoramic sunroof, and then also you've got your ADAS system, which is your advanced driving assistance system.
Okay, the forward collision.
That's it, yes.
So you don't get that on the Distinction.
It's got a few of the items, but not the full
suite,
yes.
can I
Yeah.
call it. Okay.
Correct.
And you're looking at about a 40,000 Rand roughly price difference between the two.
Plus minus, yes.
So my book, and I'm just saying, I would grab Executive every time.
That seems to be the trend, yes.
Yeah. But you've got the lower model, can I call it, for the guy who is budget constrained. Bank manager won't give him the extra 40 grand.
No, 100%. So obviously, you know, we don't skimp on the luxuries on the vehicles either. It's got the touchscreen, the voice control, full leather in the vehicle as well.
Right.
Minus the panoramic and obviously some of the ADAS system.
Yeah. Look, the panoramic is
It's a preference,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, a lot of other manufacturers, you can pay up to 30,000 Rand just for the panoramic.
That's it, yes.
And yours is bigger than most.
Correct, yes.
So I can see the value already.
Most definitely, yes.
So you're actually getting the ADAS system for an absolute bargain.
Yeah, you are. Most definitely, yes.
The ADAS is probably worth the 40 grand on its own. Or very close.
Very close, yes.
So your cars are already such good value for money.
Yes.
The Executive actually makes even more of a statement if you look at it that way, right?
Correct, yes.
And we can never, ever forget, got to put it in now, your warranties and service plan.
So obviously you've got your 5-year 60,000 service plan on the vehicle, which comes standard. Then you've got your 5-year 150,000 kilometer warranty. And then obviously we have the 10-year 1 million kilometer engine warranty on the vehicle,
correct.
which is for the first owner. And then, you know, should you sell it on, it defaults to your automatic 5-year 150 warranty.
Okay. Which is, I mean, nobody else has had the gumption to stick their necks out quite as far as you guys are on that
Yes.
one. So it really, I mean, it is something else. Let's just talk general market for a few moments.
Yes.
Okay. Last month you sold,
908 vehicles.
okay. Am I allowed to ask a split between Tiggo 4 and Tiggo 8?
You're looking at about currently a 75-25 split between that, yes.
All right. So obviously Tiggo 4 being the major,
Correct, yes.
without a doubt, and I mean, based on price, based on everything. Tiggo 8 is slightly more of a niche anyway than Tiggo 4.
Well, if you look at the figures, it's, you know, we're exceeding that niche segment basically. So it's, you know, obviously as we get more stock, I think our numbers will exceed and, you know, obviously competing segments below it as well. So I think we can take on some of that segment as well.
And then obviously, I'm not going to ask for a number now, but Tiggo 7 coming into the mix, you're looking at upping your overall numbers.
Most definitely.
I would say quite drastically, am I
Yes,
right?
yes, we are. Well, yeah, obviously, we're looking at the Tiggo 7 as a volume maker as well, with the Tiggo 4. And obviously, the Tiggo 8 in its own right is actually doing very well. So I think we'll have quite a few volume makers there.
Well, you commented in the presentation earlier that you were the biggest selling 7-seater SUV in South Africa last
In that
month.
segment, yes.
So that speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yes, that does.
That says a lot already. So let's leave it there. And you've got more coming in the pipeline, haven't you?
Yes, we do. So obviously, we just keep looking at our websites and our social pages. You'll see what's coming up.
And when I get inside information.
Yes, always.
No. JJ, I've got to say again, great product.
Thank you very much.
Your pricing is brilliant. We haven't mentioned the pricing.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, your distinctive model, you're looking at 409,900, and then your executive model, 449,900.
Unbelievable. Really, your pricing relative to the market,
Yes.
as with your other cars. And
Yes.
I've got to put it that way because Chery, the brand,
Yes.
obviously one of your big USPs is your value for money.
No, definitely. That's we're not.
Yeah.
The price is good, and you're getting a lot for that price.
That's for sure. Overall, thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Anna.
And thanks for a great day.
No, that's always a pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
JJ.
Thank you.
Chery Tiggo7 Pro, early part of the drive, and I've got Leadfoot himself driving this first part. How's it, Leadfoot?
Morning, Alan. How you doing?
Yeah, William, good. No, I'm not calling you William anymore. You're only Leadfoot because you're already ruining the fuel consumption on this car that I'll have to fix on the return drive.
Averaging 10.
We'll see in about 2 minutes. It'll be up to about 15 with your normal driving.
Given the fact that the instantaneous fuel consumption maxes out at 20.
And you already tried that in the first 2 Ks of the drive.
I want to see what it can do.
Okay, well, listen, enough of that nonsense. The Tiggo7 Pro, and we're in the executive version, the top version. So you've got this bit of a glare here, but really big central touch screen. Interesting, you've got the lower screen down here for your ventilation, etc., etc. Powered by the same 1.5 4-cylinder turbo engine as in the Tiggo 4.
And those of you who listen to our podcast noticed that we had a bit of a blurb about this car before we got to it. And I said it would be powered by the 1.6, and Alan said it would be powered by the 1.5, and he will never let me forget that he was right.
Who was right and who was wrong?
Actually, the 1.5 is sufficient in this
That
car.
is, I think it's 108 kilowatts if I remember correctly,
And
which is pretty damn good, and it's certainly been peppy enough.
we're beetling down the highway at 106 km an hour at the moment.
Right.
Because the traffic is quite heavy.
Traffic is very heavy,
the car is willing. It pulls
and smooth, eh?
And smooth.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the of the CVT boxes, you know.
Yeah.
But this one actually isn't bad.
Okay, and the difference from the 4 to the 7 is definitely a lot more space in the back seat.
It's a big car.
It's a much bigger car. I'm wondering, it can't be that much smaller than the Tiggo 8, quite honestly.
No, I think it's probably similar.
Yeah,
Just
very
with the
similar
5,
size.
Obviously 5 seats as opposed to 7.
Yeah.
But I think
But big car.
dimension-wise, it's going to be fairly close.
And you can see the trim, the soft touch leatherish effect on the dash with stitching. You've got all the features, all the bits and pieces in this car, as you would expect.
The display is nice.
Display is good. You're in sport mode at the moment. Of course, Leadfoot wouldn't be doing anything other. I mean, what would you expect from him?
And you've only got 2 modes. You've got Sport and Eco. That's it.
That is strange, you know. I'm sure there should be a normal mode somewhere between. We've got a nice big panoramic sunroof as well. Boing, there we go, just to show you. But it's a big one as well. It goes literally almost to the backrest of the back seat. Oh, that wasn't meant to happen. Pop the roof. Anyway, you can see what it is, and an opening section on the sunroof. It's got all these features. I'm sure it's also got, we haven't tested it yet, don't while you're driving, but I'm sure it's got a lot of the voice control as in the other Tiggo models.
Being a Chery, it's going to have all the
I'm
choice.
sure it's going to have. But it's got all of those, being the executive model. We'll confirm prices, we'll confirm everything else, but so far I must tell you that the ride is smooth,
and
comfortable.
And insulated. It's quiet in the cabin.
Yeah, the sound, NVH is good, the sound deadening is good.
Yeah, a little bit of noise from the engine, but really not.
Yeah, but you want a
not
bit.
Not a lot.
It's that kind of engine. You want to hear it a bit when you do work it, yeah.
It tells you it's there.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can hear that while Leadfoot's accelerating quite hard because somebody got out of the lane in front of him. And up to 120 with no effort whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I know you don't like the gearbox, but you know what? You should. There were a couple of upshifts there and you never even felt them.
No, it is smooth. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better than some of them.
Yeah. So let's not. I'm not going to allow you to complain that much about that either. Okay. There we go. So, well, you'll see more of us. You're going to see me driving later when I'll have to work at the fuel consumption overall for the day. But anyway, let's not worry about that now. Good day ahead, early in the morning still. That's why we've been in so much traffic. Chat later.
And we're live in the
Chery Tiggo7 Pro.
which is
Which is what?
brand new.
Absolutely, because we're on the launch.
We're on the launch.
Me driving now, because Leadfoot gave us such stupid, ridiculous fuel consumption that I've got to try and fix again.
Yes, I gave you 9.7 and now we're sitting at 9.8.
Yeah, but I haven't had a chance to drive yet. I've only just started driving, Leadfoot.
You did get one other thing right, Alan. It is the 1.5, not the 1.6.
Exactly. 108 kilowatts, 210 newton meters, and it goes nice. It really does. It's nice.
And it has a 9-speed CVT box.
Yeah,
I don't know why you get a 9-speed CVT box, but it's a 9-speed CVT box.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Reasonably quick.
Yeah. 10
Actually,
10 and a quarter inch touch screen over there.
Yeah.
7-inch TFT screen over there.
Whilst we're doing all the numbers.
Yeah, and you've even got your third screen down here for your ventilation, heating, blah, 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 blah.
And I have to point out that you can adjust the temperatures using this knob, which is nice because it's a very clunky, easy to get to adjustment. And these buttons are nice and big, so when you're driving, you can actually access them quickly and simply without taking 100% distraction from the car.
Yeah, you're right there. Look, this glossy black looks stunning, but you're going to get fingerprints all over it at some point. That's my only little gripe about that. But otherwise, it's got everything. It's got, like the other Chery models, it has got voice activation and stuff like that. Should we try the voice activation?
Well, I was about to say, you know, it's a case of these knobs here are actually superfluous because you can tell the Chery to
change the temperature. Well, let's just try one here. Watch this.
I'm listening.
Open the sun blind on the sunroof.
Okay, it's opening.
And as simple as that. There you go. How's that?
That's amazing. And we must point out, dear valued viewers, totally unscripted.
No.
And we haven't practiced that. And I thought that was a particularly challenging way to tell it to open the sunroof. But it nonetheless took it.
Well,
it's impressive.
Because it listens to me. What do you expect?
It's impressive.
What do you expect?
Tell it to turn the temperature up.
I'm listening.
Increase the temperature in the car.
Got it. Increasing the temperature in all areas to 19 degrees.
Well, it was on 18, so
that's impressive. Yeah,
I could tell it a specific number, I think, and it would do that. I didn't bother there.
No,
but I think we've got the gist of how it works. Something else that, of course, you couldn't find, you're not going to be able to show too clearly, is it's almost a double-decker center console, and there is a wireless charger
right there, which is
underneath.
Where my phone is actually at the moment.
Okay, and then under the armrest over here, where I've got my arm,
we have a cooled.
It's got cooling and it's got 2 USBs in there. So not bad. What do you think?
I'm very impressed with that.
Yeah, but of course the best part is the prices.
And as predicted, they were spot between the 4 and the 8.
450.
405 to 4446.
Yeah. Okay, for the two. We're in the upper spec model, the executive, which is what gives you the panoramic roof and a few other bits and pieces.
And that roof is truly massive.
Yeah, it really is. It runs right to the back seats.
1.13 square meters, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enormous.
And then we'll show you still. But 475 litre boot.
Huge.
With the seats up and
1500
with them down.
It's massive.
It is big.
That's a lot of shopping.
And I mean, we're just cruising along. I'm trying to sit more or less at the 120 mark. It's doing it beautifully. And it really is smooth and comfortable, don't you think?
It's very quiet in here. It's refined.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of tyre noise. There's certainly very little wind noise. The ambience inside here is we're talking in normal dulcet tones.
Well,
and
would I do anything other?
And absolutely.
Yeah, there you could hear I kicked down one gear because we're on a slight little uphill, and I've accelerated up a little bit because we're just doing an overtake quickly. But I must tell you, this is a lovely, comfortable, smooth car to drive.
If I was German right now, I'd be very, very nervous.
Yeah. If you're a German motor manufacturer.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I
just had to put it a bit clearer.
I think that the Chinese have thrown down the gauntlet and continue to throw it down, and I think now that the punches have started, they're not going to stop. We've also, interestingly, at the launch, Tony was mentioning the fact that they're already doing a revision to the Tiggo 4 based on customer feedback.
Correct, and
Now
they're
that-
going to add a bit of extra spec to the Tiggo 4s.
And that's within a few months of launch.
Yeah.
So the speed at which the Chinese are reacting to local conditions is impressive.
Well, he actually told me this morning when I was chatting to him that they have a department that specifically looks at customer feedback. And the Chinese, typically Chinese engineers, can re-engineer and change things quicker than a lot of others. Let's just put it that way.
But every time I've heard that corporate blurb, it's always been a case of they listen to their customers and they don't do anything about it. But in this particular instance, it seems like
It looks like they are, yeah.
maybe they are.
Well, let's see when the upgrade, or whatever you want to call it, refresh on the Tiggo 4 comes. I'm sure either they'll do a little event, or alternatively we're being overtaken by one of our pals over here.
It's a good looking car from the rear.
Yeah, in fact, I would say the rear view is, in my opinion now, I like the rear view. I'm not as excited about the front view. Just an opinion.
Matter of taste.
Yeah.
Matter of taste.
But then again, as I've said before, if you're in an ugly car, who cares? You're inside. You're not seeing the outside.
I could mention I'm stuck in the middle here with you, but let's not go down that particular path.
No, we're not. Well, I'll
Okay,
sort
Alan,
it out.
I think we've
William?
summed it up for now. We'll get back.
Should I say Leadfoot?
We'll get back to the viewers.
No. We're
In a
going to
bit.
give you a lot more. We'll do the proper walkarounds, etc., that you'll see exactly what we're referring to.
And we'll have a chat with JJ.
Absolutely. Leadfoot,
Looking forward to
are
it.
you my Chery for today?
Normally you have to pay more for that. We'll leave it there.
What matters? I'm Eleanor. See you next time.